Welcome to our final part. Basically, all this is going to be is just putting everything together between putting in our face shield, the speaker, soldering it together, and then some padding just to kind of make it more comfortable to wear. So we're going to start with the face shield that needs to go into the helmet. I don't really know the best way to go about putting this in. I've seen some people do with different things. I'm pretty much just going to copy what they do. This is a welding face shield replacement. Basically, this is what goes in the welding helmet to protect your eyes from the arc. I'll link this down in the description. This is the one I bought off Amazon and lots of people have used for a Mando helmet. It is dark green, not black, which I thought was kind of weird. But when you have kind of like no light behind it, it gets blacker. I think it'll work fine. I mean, worst case, I just pull it out. We use a new one. So it's too big, obviously, to fit in here even by bending it. So I'm going to take just a sheet of paper. We're going to just bend that into shape to get a really rough template. Like so. And need a Sharpie. So now that we have this lined up, we can just make a small not the prettiest outline in the world, but we have an idea of how it needs to fit. So I need to do something to this. My plan is, obviously you can cut this out, lay it on top of here, cut that out. I'm gonna make this a little wider so that we have some kind of like a lip, we have some grip to put glue on so that it has stuff to sit on. We're not just kind of like using something that's a little too thin. So I'm pretty much just gonna widen the whole thing by I maybe a quarter of an inch, half an inch. I'm just gonna eyeball it. It doesn't need to be too precise. So let's just. We can obviously trim this up as needed, but that's the plan, is that we cut along now. We cut along the outside edge that we've drawn. So now if we were to kind of line this up, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. We've got our outline that we wanted, and then our outside line lines up so it's inside the helmet, so that we have some room to put some glue. So I'm gonna take that. Pretty much just gonna do the exact same thing with this. I'm gonna tape this down. So this is the only one that I have, and I'd be wrong to say that I'm not a little nervous to cut it, because I don't want to wait a few days for another one to arrive in the mail. But that's why we went a little big on the grid here on our template. You can always take stuff off. You can't really add it. So if it's too big, we can always trim it to fit. And if it's not, well, then we gotta start over. So now that we've got it lined up or taped down, I'm gonna cut it. I've got these are kitchen shears. I haven't tried with standard kitchen scissors. I don't know if they'd work. This is fairly strong plastic, but my kitchen shears work just fine. If you got access to power tools, I guess a jigsaw or a bandsaw would work really well. You just cut straight lines all the way around. I don't have one, so kitchen shears will work. So we're gonna cut this out now. So that last little bit to cut was a little tricky, but I think it turned out okay. Plus, we have some leeway because of the way that this kind of lines up. Right, the actual helmet will hide the cut line, so we're not really too concerned about that. More concerned about getting it to fit now. I'm thinking be right back. Okay, so I have my workstation, my SMD workstation. I have it currently set to, we can only do 100 degrees Celsius. It's the lowest it'll go. Basically, if you can see where I'm going with this, I don't want to force this into shape. I'd actually rather it almost be naturally curved, so that it's not fighting against the glue or adhesive we're going to use to keep it in place. So I'm going to soften it up, pretty much wrap it around on the outside so we can get that curve, and then it should pretty much just sit pretty naturally inside of the helmet. So we're gonna soften it up now. So I think that kind of worked the best as we can probably get it. We got a curve in it, which is good. I just think that it isn't gonna, it's not gonna bend that much anymore, and I don't want to risk anything. So if we slip it in. So this is going to be really hard to get footage of, but I think instead of putting glue on the visor, I'm going to put it along the helmet, kind of working my way up through it to glue it in. I'm going to use hot glue for now. It's more of a temporary solution. I would like to get some kind of like putty, epoxy putty, as a more permanent one. But for now, we're just going to use some hot glue, because then I can always take it out if anything goes wrong. So I tried it on. It doesn't impact me wearing it at all, which I expected. Fits well. It is, like I said, it's green. I can't really tell if you can see it. I'll see when I film it and look at the recording. But I think it's okay for now. Most of the reason we use hot glue is, again, because it's temporary. So if we need to change it, it just pulls out with a little rubbing alcohol. It'll come right out. So our next step will be, our next step, I'm going to put our speaker in now. So this is going to sit here, like so. And then I need to wire up our microphone and our power switch to the battery pack that's in here. And then just kind of solder them all to here with the power switch on our side, right? And then we should be good. And then we just put some padding in. We're almost done. I don't know how I'm going to get footage of this, of soldering in here. That's purely just because this is going to be really awkward to do. I will try. If you don't see footage of it, I apologize. But I'm going to try and get footage. If I can't, I'll explain what I do. But if not, then maybe we'll see it. We'll see. I'm going to give it a shot. Let's see if we can get it soldered in and finish this up. Okay, so our soldering is done. There's enough slack in here that this can then kind of like be free, and I can then glue it in, and then I can kind of wrap the wires up a little bit and glue them down somewhere for safekeeping and whatnot. But this is long enough, so if I need to take anything out, you know, this is replaceable, speaker's replaceable, the microphone's on its own. It's all enough that some isopropyl alcohol take everything out. Before I glue it in, just make sure it still works. I'll pop in this last battery that I have lost. There it is. All right. Pop this in. I think the switch is off. I don't actually know. Nope, it's on. Okay, but it lights up. And if we do something. Yeah, okay. You can kind of hear it. I'm scratching the microphone. Okay, and if we turn it switch, it's off. Awesome. I'm gonna pop out the batteries. I just don't want anything getting hit. Slot this in. It should go right about there. And then, yeah, it should go there. So let's take a glue gun. Almost too much glue. And then I'm just gonna hold this here while it dries for a minute. Two things we need to do now. There used to be one, now there's two. The red light from the speaker, or from the amp, I wanted to leave it as it was because I wanted to know when it was on. A little hard to hear the microphone inside the helmet, which I guess makes sense because I'm speaking. But the light is visible through the visor. So I'm just gonna grab some electrical tape, some black tape. We'll cover it up, should be fine. Then we're just gonna put some bicycle padding or some kind of padding in there to make it sit higher on my head because it's a little too tall. And then some padding all around to make it a little more comfortable. Just because it's, like I said, it's a little big. So yeah, we're like 98% done. Yeah, all right, that's covered. And I can still kind of see it. So it's just kind of like reflecting off the right here. But you can't see it through the visor unless you're kind of like looking at it from a very weird angle. So cool, that works. Now, we gotta do padding. This is gonna be a lot of not easy for you camera footage. Because I'm pretty much gonna need to like put it on and put it on, figure out what padding needs to go where, take it off, put it in, you know, so on and so forth. So, this is just a really basic pack of bike helmet padding that I've got off Amazon. It's a couple pieces. There's, I think, 9 in total. 2 of those squares, 6 of these rectangles, and then one padding at the top. So I don't know which one goes where. I think the softer one goes on the outside because it's the curve of your head. So there's no instructions. So I'm going to start with the top pad. I know I need that. It would have been nice if things were labeled. Okay, so these are the 6 rectangles. That makes sense. These are 2 cube. Okay, so these go here. That's actually kind of nice. There's Velcro. That's actually kind of nice. All right, so I'm going to. I want this directly in the top. So. I think that's good. I have a little issue with this padding here. I think it's a little tight on my cheek. But it's Velcro, so we can just kind of move it. Let me clean up and then we'll do a recap. Okay, so we're all done. This is the final product with our visor and all of the electronics installed in it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think that it looks really good in person. I think that the visor actually looks really great, and I'm really just kind of proud of being able to do it. I've never printed anything this large. I've never painted anything like this. I've never done pretty much any of this. The only thing in here that I've kind of done is soldering stuff together like this for parts. But this whole thing was brand new to me, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So let me put it on. We'll see if the speaker works really well, and I'll find that out when I review this footage. But let's try it. All right, so like I said, the speaker kind of hits my nose a little bit. It doesn't hurt, just makes putting it on and off not seamless. So. All right. So from inside the helmet, you can hear all right. I can see pretty well. I need contacts, but the padding I added helps. It fits really well. I can see it eye level. The speaker is right next to my mouth, and honestly, it feels fine. It will get hot. I can tell it will. I wish I had a fan. I bought fans to put in here, but I think finding space is going to be a little hard. So when you breathe, if you breathe out of your mouth, it's going to fog up, and I can't tell if you can see it, but it does do that. So let's try the speaker system. It's off right now. Now it's on, and I can kind of hear some of the microphone distortion and stuff through it, but I don't know. I'll find out when I review the footage. So it's on, it's off. It's on, now it's off. So wearing it, it can get a little hard to breathe. I'm gonna be completely honest about that. A fan might help. Might help if I wasn't filming on camera and still nervous about doing that. But I like it. I think it turned out really well. A bit of an ambitious start to learning this stuff between Bondo and priming and finishing 3D prints. But first step to a very long process. If you've watched all the parts, thank you for watching and sticking around through it. I know it's something different than I've normally done on this channel. I will get back to that stuff, I swear. But I wanted to do this and I wanted to share it and document it. So I'm happy with how it turned out. And I'm really happy with what I learned and of learning to apply it and just when and where to use it. So thank you for sticking through this. I will hopefully be back with more of the actual suit. If people want it, let me know in the comments because that's gonna help a lot. But I'm happy with it and I'm excited to continue with it. I've just actually, while recording, finished up the rest of the armor prints. The last part of the shin was done, so I need to put it together, print out some detailing pieces like his thermal detonator and stuff and the holder and belts and stuff. But yeah, as I'm recording, that's done. So all that's left is doing exactly what I did here on all of that. So if you would like to see it, let me know. Otherwise, I thank you so much for watching this. It's taken me a couple weeks and I'm just so happy that it's done. And I'm happy with how it turned out. So thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Ask questions, leave tips, do any of that. And I will see you next time.